Well, good morning. It is Saturday, February 22nd. Yes, 22nd. And I am getting ready. We are leaving. We're going to a birthday party to my cousin's house. She lives in the Valley, if you know what that is. It is north of Hollywood, north of LA. And it's going to take us about probably 2 hours to get there, which is fine. And we are going to go there. She throws the most amazing birthday parties for her children, like amazing. And can't wait to see family. Can't wait to hang out. And I saw that there's a bookstore going out of business close by that I might want to check out. So we shall see how it goes. I hope you're going to have a good Saturday. Make it a good Saturday. Okay. See you in a bit. Bye. So I'm here at my cousin's birthday party. Her son's birthday party. He's turning 4. And the theme is Mario. And this is the cake. Look at this cake. She's outrageous. She always does the most amazing cakes for her kids' birthday parties. So that's the cake. And here's a setup for the cake table. So cute. But this cake, look at this thing. So cute. Hello and welcome to another blog on the Crochet Luna channel. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California. And it is a beautiful Sunday morning, February 23rd. I am coming to you after, I think it's been 3 weeks since I last recorded. So yeah, grab your project, grab something to drink, and let's have a chat. Okay, first we're going to talk about the mug for today. I am using this brand new to the collection Chicago mug that my husband brought to me from his business trip that he went to in Chicago this past week. Love it. This is a Starbucks mug. And I said to him, so I collect mugs from different places. Even if I haven't gone to the place, I still want a mug. And so he got this one. I think he got this one at the airport. But look how cool that is. Yes. So I'm using this one today. I have a second mug that I'll show you later that I got gifted this weekend, which I was really excited to get. But anyway, I hope that you guys have been well. I hope that February has treated you well. It's almost over. February was a very challenging month for me health-wise. And so I want to talk to you guys about that real quick. I used to give a health update at the beginning of my episodes for a long time, and then I kind of stopped doing it. But, I realize there's so many of us with challenging autoimmune diseases. I have rheumatoid arthritis. I've had it since I was 25, so you're looking at about 27 years with this disease. I want to be 53 this year. Do the math, because math and I do not get along. But anyway, I got notice from my liver and my kidneys that they were going on strike. They did not want to work anymore. The pay was too low and the benefits were just lacking. So in December, my liver and my kidneys decided that they were just going to go on strike. And that resulted in some interventions from my doctors, my rheumatologist taking me off the immunosuppressant medication that I take and another medication that I take. So I was off of my medications to try and figure out what was going on with my liver and my kidneys. And unfortunately, it kind of got worse. And I was doing labs almost every other week. Finally, the numbers started coming down on my liver function and my kidneys doing a little bit better. But what does that mean for someone who depends on autoimmune suppressing medication? It means for me personally that I'm on a clock. And I knew it's about a 3-week clock that once I go off the immunosuppressants, that my arthritis was just going to flare up horribly. So I knew I was on a countdown, and it just hit me like a tidal wave. And so I flared up. Mostly it's my hands, it's my hips, my knees, and my ankles. Although I did have a lot of shoulder pain. So I flared up like a 4th of July fireworks display, to the point where I missed work for almost a week. I couldn't work. That means no being able to get dressed by yourself. That means everything hurts. Everything just, it's horrible. It's horrible to live like that. And nothing to do until the liver and the kidneys, mainly the liver really, was in a more or less normal range. Had medical appointments with my rheumatologist, several of them, to try and figure out what we could do. And ultimately, I was just put on steroids to try and help with the inflammation. These are my hands on steroids for about the last 10 days. So you can see there's a lot of inflammation in the hands and in the wrists. I don't really like showing my hands too much because I know, they're not the prettiest hands, right? So anyway, I was not able to crochet or craft. And that's a bummer. It's really a bummer. And the reason I talk about my health journey, my issues with arthritis and the fact that I have RA is because before I hopped on, I decided I was going to get like a brief summary to share with you guys with regards to autoimmune diseases. And I already kind of knew some of this, but I want to share some of these numbers with you just so that you have this in mind, so that you know that you're not alone, okay? There's so many of us that deal with autoimmune diseases in this country and around the world. So here we go. Autoimmune disease affects about 5 to 8% of the population. Predominantly, women are affected by autoimmune disease. 78% of that 5 to 8% are women. So sit with that number. Women account for roughly 78% of those affected by autoimmune disease. That means 1 in 12 women develop an autoimmune disease. I'm reading from my little paper that I printed out. So it's just crazy the amount of autoimmune disease that women develop. And there's some where it says the ratio is 9-1. Lupus, if you have lupus, 9-1 is the ratio. And Sjogren's syndrome, 19-1 develop. Because a lot of us develop that as a secondary condition. I know I have. I have not been diagnosed with it, but I have horrible dry eyes, dry mouth, like horrible. And actually, that's one of the things that goes hand in hand with arthritis too. Your mucous membranes tend to be dry. Dry eyes, I suffer from that so horribly. And there's so many things that, when I was diagnosed, I have a cousin, my mother's cousin, and I have a great grandmother who suffered from arthritis, like debilitating rheumatoid arthritis. And when I was first diagnosed, I was told that there's no relationship between genetics and arthritis. I think that's a lie, and I think it's being disproven, right? Hormones, like right before I would get my period, I would flare up, horribly flare up. And I would keep telling my doctors this, and they would say, nothing to do with it. But no, because doing a little more research, key contributing factors, okay, of why autoimmune is dominant, and there's a female dominance of that in autoimmune. Sex hormones, fluctuations in female sex hormones such as estrogen and progesterone, particularly during puberty, pregnancy, and menopause. Genetics, which I was told so many times early on that genetics had nothing to do with it. And environmental factors. Okay, so infections, predisposition to hormonal influences can trigger autoimmune response. I want to add something else to that, where I know that there is research with the inclusion of trauma and how trauma affects women and triggering autoimmune. And I think that that's something that probably more research has to be done. Now, I quickly used my Gemini AI tool for that little piece of paper. But one of the things that I wanted was for it to cite 3 respected medical sources. And I will put the sources to how this AI generated this little fact sheet that I just read from you, to you guys from, because in this age of misinformation, I always feel like you've got to have you have to have more than one source that you go to. So this particular sheet of paper that I printed out, the 3 sources were the National Institute of Health, the Mayo Clinic, and Stanford Medicine. And I will link where the AI got its information from, so that you guys, if you want to, can also look at that. And so the reason I start with this little bit of health stuff is because I know there's a lot of people in crafting, a lot of women in crafting that suffer from autoimmune. I know there's a lot of us that when we are in a flare state, can get depressed, can get anxious. It is pain. If you have never experienced autoimmune pain in your joints, in your body, it is like nothing that I can describe to you. It is constant. It is relentless. You cannot sleep. Everything hurts. And when everything hurts, I mean everything hurts constantly, and it doesn't stop. And so that really does do something to you emotionally. And I just want you to know that you're not alone, that when these things happen, at least this crafter here is praying for you and knows that kind of pain. And I want you to know that it does get better. I'm feeling a lot better now, and I'm actually getting back on the train to try and find other therapies that will work for me, because what I've been doing up until this point is too toxic for my body, and it's actually not as effective. It's on that downward trend where the efficacy of the medication is not working. And this has been happening for 20 plus years. I go on a therapy, I go on a cocktail of medication. It works really well. It might work for 2 years. It might work for, Remicade, which is an infusion that I took for 13 years, worked 12 out of those 13 years. That last year, it just didn't work. So this is just a reality of life when you live with an autoimmune. And I just wanted to take some time to share a little bit of that with you. And if you are suffering in if you have a flare up right now, my friend, I feel for you. I'm with you. I'm praying for you, and it will get better. So that's where I've been in February. February's been my flare up February is what I'm going to call it, because that's where I've been. But I'm doing a lot better now, which is great. And I did manage to do a little crafting. And so I want to share some of that with you. I want to start with my crochet finish object. I only have one. It is tiny, but it is mighty because I love it. Let me share the pattern with you first. It is a paid pattern. Bare Glass Holder by the Michigan Paw. Look at this thing. Is that not the cutest thing? Look at that. That's the pattern. That is the name of the designer. I will link it below. It's so cute. I did it in one sitting, and it was really the only thing that I could crochet. There he is. Isn't that cute? Had little, I had the little safety eyes already. Just a little bit of white yarn, a little bit of black yarn. Very simple pattern. You crochet the ears separately and then you attach them. And he just sits on my desk because I wear glasses and I'm constantly having I'm constantly losing my glasses, and I'm like, I need to have something to put them. So I'm always looking for my little bear so that I can go find my glasses, because I'm getting into the habit of putting them in there, and that really helps. So this is my one crochet object that I finished in February. I got really far along in my socks that I was working on, my January socks, but my gauge was really off, so I frogged everything to the start. So I don't have anything to show you. I've put them to the side because I kind of wanted to work on something else. But it's still my goal to work on socks. I was using a different pattern than the one I usually use. I talked about that in my last blog. But I'll get back to socks. I just want to finish this other project that I'm working on. My next finished object is a sewing project, because I really couldn't crochet. I managed to sew, and I sewed a pretty epic tote. I don't know if you saw it on Instagram. I'm super proud. But I found this pattern, which the pattern cost $1, but it was actually on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale. It was like 64 cents. It's called the Bottoms Up Strap Tote. Here's the pattern. See how it was $1. This is the tote. And it's a step-by-step. It's really very beginner friendly. I mean, I've never sewn a tote, and I found it very easy to follow. There was only one thing that I'll say that I don't know if, because I'm not really proficient at following and doing sewing patterns, but there was one strip of the pattern that I think the dimensions are a little bit wrong. But if you know how to sew and cut fabric and things like that, and you can figure it out. I mean, it's not difficult. I say that because you have to cut on the fold, and so if you cut on the fold and you open it up, it's supposed to be double, the length. But I think the way that this is done, I'll just show it to you. Okay, show you what I mean. So let me just show you the tote. Now, this is for a commission. I'm not keeping this. I have a lovely, lovely lady who sends me fabric, and then I'll make bags for her. And she's actually like, I always tell her like, I'm like, she's like my guinea pig. Is like, she sends me the fabric and I try different things, and then I send them off to her, and she always, is very kind and says that she loves them. But it's my way of like trying patterns. And like this pattern, I had to stop my camera, and I had to stop recording because my family was pulling their shenanigans. And so I don't even know what I was saying, but I think what I was saying is that there's a lovely lady who sends me fabric, and I play around with patterns, and then I just send her what I make. But yes, so she sent me this really cool fabric, and I've been wanting to sew a tote bag, just like a simple tote bag, and it worked out so well. Like, here's the tote bag. Now, this fabric this is from Stash. She sent me this one here with the flags, and then the inside is this fabric right here. Isn't that cute? This is the fabric. But it's a very nice size tote. And like I said, and it has pockets on the inside. Here, there's pockets. like I said, it's a really good pattern. Like, it's not difficult to follow. I really like her, and she's got like a photo tutorial on there, and it's just a matter of cutting fabric, sewing fabric, nothing crazy, no crazy turns or anything like that. You can put a snap thing here, but I didn't do that because I didn't have one. Here's the back of the tote. So really proud of this project. But so what I was saying to you guys is that if you buy this pattern, there is a piece of the pattern that makes this part up here. If you cut it on the fold and you open it up, it's shorter than the width of the tote bag. But in the written directions, it gives you the dimensions of what that strip should look like, what this strip should look like. So I would say if you buy the pattern and you run into that problem, disregard the little cutout of that piece of the pattern and just go based on her written, where she writes how long this should be by, by how wide it's, how long versus how wide it should be. So yeah, it was not a problem. As soon as I cut it, I cut the pattern piece. I was like, yeah, this is not going to be long enough. So I just went based on the measurements, and I just cut the fabric and then did the thing, and I love it. I really, really love it. I mean, you cannot beat it for $1. I mean, even if it's full price at $1, I mean, it's such a good pattern. Good detailed instructions. I didn't use a canvas. This is like a cotton, and I interfaced it, so that's why it's got good body to it. But I think if you just use like a nice cotton, the bottom of this is cotton. You probably don't even have to mess with interfacing or anything like that, which I thought, I might try that too. Now that Joann's is going out of business, maybe I should go over there and get some upholstery fabric and make myself a nice big tote for summer. But yeah, this is my other finished object. There are 2 other bags that I made, but I'm not showing those because those are surprises for her. I did take pictures, and so maybe in the next video I'll share pictures of it. So those are my 2 finished objects, and then I want to move on to what I'm working on now. So as I said, I put the socks to the side. I'm not working on socks right now. I've been wanting to crochet a shawl, and this is a double share, because I've been wanting to crochet a shawl, and I've been watching a podcast on YouTube. It's called Crochet Object Knitting, and the host is Moran, and she's a maker from Israel. Oh my God, I am in love with this woman and her podcast. I love it. I've been watching it from the beginning. I went and started watching from like her first episodes. I just want to go have lunch with her. Like, I want to go and have like tea. And she hosts a knit and crochet night, I think twice a week in her house. So people come to her house and then they do their thing there. And I can't tell you, like, there's some people that you watch and you just know that they are full of peace and joy. Like, they come across that way, at least. Calm, peace, and joy. And like, those are the 3 words that come to mind when I think of Moran. She's just is a lovely lady, and I will link her YouTube channel down below. So she also designs crochet and knitwear. She has a really cute pattern for an amigurumi bear that I want to make, but her crochet pattern that I purchased, it's called the Granny Stripe Shawl. I've been wanting to do a granny stripe shawl, but this one is not triangle shape because I don't want to make a triangle shape. I want it more like a crescent shawl. And her granny stitch is more of a crescent shape, like a shallow, like a long, shallow crescent shape. I don't even know if it's crescent really. It's just more like a flat shawl. And so she has this pattern. It is a paid pattern. Very simple. And I'm using a mini set that I purchased in December from Knit Picks. I think I showed it. I think I did because I was showing all kinds of yarns. And I added to that set 3 minis from a bouquet of minis that was gifted to me when I went to Yarndale in 2018. And it was gifted to me by Miss Moffat Yarns. I met her at Yarndale, and she gifted me this really pretty, like, just bouquet of minis. I think she might have been launching her shop. I just checked before starting to record, and there was nothing in the Etsy shop. And then on Instagram, it looks like the last time she posted was 2 years ago. So I'm not sure how active she is on social media. But this is, like I said, this is her label. And then these are the 3 colors that were from that little bouquet that she gave me. And then the other colors were from a mini, like a little mini set that I bought from Knit Picks when they were having their big sale. Let me show those to you. I hope I can. These hands just don't work. Anyway, it's these right here. And so I started my shawl. So my intention is to just keep repeating these colors, but I'm going to reverse them. So, and then here's my cute little stitch marker. This stitch marker I got in an advent calendar. I got the Mothie and the Squid calendar, I think 2 years ago, and each skein of yarn had the cutest stitch marker attached to it, and this was one of them. So my intention is, so all of these are the colors that are going to be in the shawl, and I finished with the dark green. I'm restarting with the dark green, and I'm just going to reverse the order of the colors. I'm going to see how far I get, how much of a shawl I can get out of the minis, and see how if I need to add, then I think what I'll do is I'll just add a plain white to it, just to, you know, if I need more, basically. But this is what I've been working on. I went to crochet with my cousin Evelyn. I used to talk about her all the time because she was crocheting all the time, and then she fell off the crochet wagon, and now she's back on the crochet wagon. So we met on Friday, and I said to her, you know what, these are really not my colors. These like pastel-y colors here are really not my colors. And I said, at the end, if this shawl, if I don't like it, then I'm just gonna gift it. But I just like the fact that I'm just doing this sort of like mindless project. If you hear snoring, it's my dog. He has found a nice little place on one of the dining room chairs, and he is snoring away. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. This is the only thing I've been working on, and I can do about 2 rows, and then I gotta stop because my hands hurt. And it just brings me to another thing I was pondering this week about how, you know, at some point, I didn't want to think about it. At some point, I may not be able to crochet because my hands are going to be that bad. In the same way that I was forced to stop playing tennis because I cannot really play and swing a racket. I can hit forehands and backhands. I can't serve anymore. I can't volley. in how much of a depression that threw me in to no longer be able to play tennis, and to be told you're not going to be able to play tennis anymore, and to physically feel the fact that I cannot play tennis anymore. Like, I can't. It's just too painful. And I was thinking, man, there's going to come a day where I probably won't be able to crochet anymore. And it's just so depressing. I don't even want to hold that thought in my head. The good thing is I do like 20 other different crafts. So if I can't crochet, I guess I'll be painting with a, paintbrush in my mouth or something. Because this girl's gotta make. I gotta make stuff. Or I go crazy. So in that vein, I'll segue into something that I've started going down the rabbit hole of paper crafts. Okay, so I was watching videos on YouTube, as I want to do when I'm, flared up and can't do much. And I saw something popped up with paper clips, like it said covered paper clips. And I was like, covered paper clips? What is that? What is that? And it took me to this channel. It's a German maker, and she was showing in her video how people wrap their paper clips up in paper and make them into these fantastic, like, out of this world. Like, I can't, like, my mouth dropped when I was seeing this video. Like, I'll if I can find it again, I'll link it below. How intricately she was wrapping these paper clips and, embellishing them. And it was like, I could not stop watching. So, of course, once you start, like, watching one video on how to wrap paper clips, then you're going to get all the videos on how to wrap paper clips. And I don't necessarily do junk journaling. That's not something that I really do. But I do keep several journals. I have an agenda, with my calendar and stuff like that. I have my little crafty one right here, where I keep notes. And I have it. This is a fairly new one. That's why it's kind of blank. But look at this sticker here. Isn't she cute? I got this one at the SoCal Fiber Fest. And anyway, so I was like, I guess I'm going to have to cover some paper clips, because this just looks too much fun. And I found a bunch of other videos, a bunch of other crafters that make cover paper clips and then dangles for journals. Like, I didn't even know that was a word. Like a dangle, like something that you clip on to your journal and it dangles with little, different notions and things, like, like what we use is like stitch markers, right? Charms, that's the word, charms. Could not stop watching them. So I decided I was gonna make a covered paper clip. So this is my very first one, and it's not gonna be the last one. This is my covered paper clip. And it's so plain. Compared to what you see out there, this is like amateur hour. This is like nothing, right? Look at that. It's just basically, I had some, like, the cardstock that is already pre-printed. I had a little sticker, a little Nautilus sticker. I glued on some lace. I put a sticker with my initial on it. And then these actually came out of my, stitch marker box. So I've got a little yarn ball, a little stitch marker with my initial on it. And then because of the Nautilus, I decided I was going to use this little mermaid. And the way it works is like the paper clip is in there, so it opens up, and then you just, so here's your page. You just use it like a paper clip. You just stick it on there. and then the things just dangle off the edge. Like, I'm sure some of you are like, Claudia, that is not anything new. We all know what a covered paper clip is, and we all know what a dangle is. But I didn't know. I had no idea this was a thing. I had zero idea this was a thing. But look at it. I want to make like 1,000 of them. I got 2 more ready to go. These are ready to get embellished. And then I went to Joann's and I bought, not a lot, because remember, my word of the year is frugal. Not a lot, but it was like 30% off some like paper stuff. And so I bought like a little package of, why don't I just show you? I have it here. Let me just show it to you. So this pad of paper I already had. So I didn't buy this. But see how it has different kinds of paper? And it's got the right kind of thickness. So this is what I used to make mine. So I already had this raggedy pad of paper. And then I purchased this package here of, it's just, I don't know. I mean, you use it for different things to embellish. You can embellish anything, journals, you know, all kinds of stuff. And these were like 30% off at Joann's. And so I grabbed 2. Actually, there was only 2 left. So I grabbed these 2. I bought that. And then I purchased this little thing here so that I can use my little distressing stamp. I don't know what I did with it, but you're supposed to distress the edges of your paper. That's it. That's all I bought. And then the rest I already had because I make stitch markers and I make my little keychains. So I already had, you know, jewelry making tools. I already have all that stuff. So that's all I bought. And then these little things I already had in my box. And my stitch marker box that I have. So yeah, I made a covered paper clip. This was my creative outlet since my hands didn't hurt. And I literally just punched a little hole in it and put a bulb stitch marker, and I have little dangly things on it. I don't know. I really could not get enough of watching these women do the most amazingly beautiful, like, things just hanging down, and like little bows and little lace and distressing and cutting corner. I did buy a little thing to round out the corners, like, but that was it. I didn't go crazy. So this is what I've been working on. This has brought me a lot of creative happiness. And that's what I mean. It's like when you're at your wit's end and your body is just saying, no, I'm not gonna do that. I tend to go in like looking for things, or creative things find me, and then I find a way of making them my own to alleviate that. What do we want to call that? Craft anxiety. Like I need to make something. Like I have to make something, or else I just go nuts. And trust me, everybody in this house probably is thankful that I have my creative outlets. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. I went to a birthday party yesterday. My cousin had her son's 4th birthday party yesterday. And it was Mario themed. And she goes all out. All out. This was the little gift, you know, goodie bag. The cake was amazing. I got video of the cake. I'll put it in here. But I follow a lot of people on Instagram, and some of them are bookstores in LA. And I saw a post that the last bookstore in LA, which is a bookstore in LA, their warehouse was clearing out all their books, or having this ginormous book sale. And they have new and used books and rare books and all that. And so I said to my husband, look, I'm going to look to see where this place is at. If it's not too far from where we're at the party, I would like to go and check it out. And so I look at the address. It is 6 minutes away from my cousin's house. 6 minutes away. I'm like, we are going. And then the post is sort of cryptic, like, well, when you get there, go through the back, and then if you can't, you know, if you're having trouble getting in, then look for this link on Facebook and contact this person. And so we get there and we cannot find a way to get in. It was like a freaking adventure. We could not find a way to get in, to the point that we almost gave up. We were like, I guess it's not happening. And I was so bummed out. So one of the girls, my daughter's best friend who was with us, she saw a car coming out from this gate that opened, and she goes, oh my God, that's the entrance. So we go in. It's a huge warehouse, okay, and they're moving into a different warehouse, so they're trying to like get rid of as much stuff. And the guy goes, well, we're about to close. And I'm like, I said, you know what, I'm coming from San Diego. And he goes, did you just come from San Diego for this only? I said, no. I said, I went to a birthday party and I kind of cut out early so I could come to the sale. He goes, okay, well, you've got 30 minutes. I'm like, that's all I need. So anyway, we all like dispersed around this giant warehouse stacked with books everywhere. I didn't take any video because I was already like on like, you know, thin ice over here with this poor man who wanted to leave, and we're like holding him hostage. It was him and like 2 other people that were there. And he was kind enough to like let us into the space. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to push my luck. So I was looking specifically, because I knew they had used books, I was looking specifically for an encyclopedia that I wanted to use for future paper crafting. And I figured an encyclopedia is big. It's going to have a lot of different things in it that I can use for paper crafting. I don't want to buy a whole bunch of books and, you know, bring in more clutter. Just let me find one encyclopedia, one volume of an encyclopedia. I'll buy that, and we should be good to go. Because I've been looking for that at thrift stores and I wasn't able to find one. And so I found this. Yep. An Encyclopedia Britannica, 11th edition. The pages are nice. They've got pictures that can be used. You know, sorry, I can't hold it. My hands hurt. But there you go. So it's got lots of pages. It's got lots of writing. It's got the kind of stuff that makes paper crafting interesting, I think. Because I saw some people were using pages from books and things like that. I paid $4 for this encyclopedia. I was very happy to find that. I thought that was a good find. They had more volumes. I could have bought more. I didn't. I found, because I love science fiction, I found this book. I thought this was cool. It's a bunch of short stories, so we'll see. I like that. I like that for the sci-fi collection. Then I have been wanting to get a copy of this next book that I'm going to show you for a long time. I mean, I could have bought it on Amazon, whatever, but I'm like, I know people get rid of these kind of books all the time, and I've been keeping my eye out, trying to find a copy of it. Found a copy. I think I paid $1 for this. Don Quixote. I've been wanting to read Don Quixote for a long time. So I got a copy of Don Quixote. Then I found, again, for paper crafting, I found this that I thought was really cool. And it's got like, you know, pictures of stuff from LA. I thought this would make a really cool. And as I use these things, I'll show you, because I have ideas. I have a lot of it. I love the colors in here. I have a lot of ideas for what to do with this particular book. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I know what I want to do with it. Look at this. Who doesn't need a picture of somebody riding an ostrich? Ooh, I need a picture of that. South Pasadena. These are, I mean, this is so cool. Look at this one. This is probably Solvang. No, Solvang is not in LA. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I thought that was cool. Anyway, I got that. And I've been kicking around the idea for, this will be probably the second year that I want to keep bees. Yes, I want to keep bees. So I found books on bees. And this is an old book. And, you know, a lot of times you think, hey, I could just go online and research this. Yes, you can. But sometimes there's wisdom in older books. Sometimes there's wisdom in older books that gets lost. And I thought, let me just, you know, browse. And plus, I love this image. I love that image. So we'll see. That's what I've been up to for the last 3 weeks. At this birthday party, actually, I saw one of my dear cousin's kids. They're from Texas, one from San Antonio, and they know I collect mugs, and so they brought me a San Antonio mug. I love these kind of mugs. So yeah, I have 2 new mugs to add to the collection. I have some cool books. I discovered a new craft that I'm really excited about, paper crafting. And you know, I'm trying to keep busy, and I'm trying to stay positive mentally, because that also helps to control the flare-ups. You know, if I go down the deep dark hole of depression because I have arthritis, then that's no bueno for anybody. So with that, I will keep you posted. I will see you next time. Keep crafting. Gentle hugs. If you have somebody in your life who suffers from an autoimmune disease, be patient, be loving, and be kind. Because sometimes we act in ways that we probably shouldn't, because the hammer of an autoimmune is so relentless that sometimes we can, you know, lose our minds and maybe say things and do things that we shouldn't. That's why my family will put me in timeout. They're like, you gotta go to your room and rest. So yeah, I hope for the best for you guys, and let's hope that April brings back better health and more crafty content. Bye.